Kaizer Chiefs have a very interesting history with Stellenbosch FC. We have beaten them straight in the past 6 games. No chance, no matter how bad we were, whether we're under Ntsegi, whether we're under Johnson, whether we're under Zwane, we've been beating these boys. And now that it matters the most, the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, to prevent Kaizer Chiefs from going to 10 years without a trophy, will Kaizer Chiefs actually continue with this good form against Stellenbosch, or will Stellenbosch finally say enough is enough, Glamour boys, we're taking this one? Well, we're going to look at all of those things. We're going to look at the key battles in the midfield. We're going to look at what's going to happen with Steve Barker and his approach to the game, and the possible lineup for Kaizer Chiefs. More than just predicting the lineup, we're going to look at every other detail that you might want to talk about. And I'm going to do something different. I'm also going to predict the score, the exact score, so that you can go and bet, and then I can get a betting sponsor. No, we're not there. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. So as I said, 6 games Kaizer Chiefs have beaten Stellenbosch without defeat. No. Between those, there were no draws. We're just whooping them every single time. And I think that one of the biggest things that Kaizer Chiefs have done well against Stellenbosch in the previous 2 games anyways was to stop Devin Titus. And that's where all the problems will start or stop or end. Because now, last time out, the Chiefs had Utitlokwe stopping Titus. Couldn't do anything. Then the game after that, Utitlok was still playing as a left back, so he stopped that. And now we have Udove, who's also taking no prisoners when it comes to marking anyone that is marking. He marked Ribeiro to a point that he shifted and tried to drift inwards, and that's where he found his joy and was able to score a goal. The goal against Sundowns wasn't Dove's fault. It was more of Utitlokwe. It was more of Inacio and Dove not communicating and Dotli not communicating, or the midfielders as well not coming to cover that space. You can blame Dove, but mostly it was just the blame could be spread around a lot of players. So we know that Dove will be in for the challenge, which makes me think that the coach will not dare put Titus on that right hand side, because the main thing is to try and exploit the side that Kaizer Chiefs would be weak in, and that is the right hand side. Because if I'm the coach of Stellenbosch, I'm thinking Frosler is the one who tries to go forward, so perhaps let's attack that side. And I think the 2 Titans will be starting on the left wing so that they can try and expose and exploit that space in behind. Because if you remember with Chiefs as well, the other problem that we have that I'm sure Nabi is thinking about and thought about is Ulilepo doesn't do much tracking back as well compared to Modi on the left. And also Udove on the left usually stays and doesn't go that further up, which means we're always kind of having enough numbers on the left hand side. But on the right hand side, then with Froslau goes forward and is not that great at tracking back. So how is Chiefs going to fight this? Well, there are a couple of ways. One, Froslau becomes more disciplined if we see that Titus is attacking that side and actually becomes the one who stays, and then we use the side Delgamoti on the other side. Or alternatively, we just swap the flanks. Instead of playing Ulilepo on the right hand side and having Frosla who's not that good at defending, then you might as well just take Ulilepo and put him on the left wing. Then you know Guti, at least defensively Udove is more sound. So even though Ulilepo won't be tracking back, you'll still have Udove at the back, because now on the right hand side you'll have Umodi, who's willing to track back, being in that position whereby he can assist Frosler with the marking. But the other thing that is the simplest thing, rather than making all of these adjustments, you could just play Dylan Solomons, because Dylan Solomons in that position, and we've seen him, he's very much capable of going up and then going backwards, up and down, up and down. It's just that the problem in the previous game that I saw is that he did not look very comfortable. So that makes me wonder whether he tweaked something again, because for the life of me, that guy, when he plays his heart out. But the problem is he just gets injured a lot of times. So I think that's the first key tactical battle that will have to be addressed in that game. And I think that if Solomons is comfortable enough, I start him. I start to Dove on the left, and then Inacio and totally come back, and then Uvuma as well plays there. Which then brings us to the center back pairing of someone can exploit that, because if you have a smart striker who can time his runs properly, you can hurt the Chiefs. And I know someone will say, Aumpelo exposing us. They know about Parker, they are more qualified than me, so please let's not do that. So the communication between our defenders is a very big issue. They are not good at communicating. And with Cupido having some good games in the previous matches, you do not want to be found sleeping on the job. We do not want that. We need those guys to be in sync. We need those guys to be disciplined tactically, to be able to stay in their position, because one mistake that we make, then Cupido will be able to exploit our mistakes. But on top of that, there's also De Jong. De Jong is a very good number 10. He's not only good as a number 10 in playmaking, but he's also good at drawing the defenders out of position. What it does, it goes to the defenders, and then he moves into midfield. Manzo Mbaizela, you follow him, and then by following him, you have created a gap between your centre-back pairing, and then the likes of Cupido, the likes of Abo Titus can now try and exploit that space. So for the life of me, our midfielders must make sure that they protect our defense, because we cannot have a backline that is not functioning well. So that's where our midfield comes in, Uguti. Who is going to play in that position? And that brings up a very, very interesting and debatable thing. But before we do that, because we're about to fight, make sure to like the video if you have already subscribed, and if you have not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. It's the 7th of March on 47,000 subscribers. We're trying to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of this month. I know you guys can do it, right? Okay, midfield, obviously, Cele is back from injury. That means he's going to be available in helping us keep the ball. Should Stellenbosch decide they are going to press us and be intense with someone who's press resistant. But the question is, who plays alongside him? There were videos and pictures of Chiefs training, and we saw that Castillo seems like he's getting there to play, because it was said that he was going to come back around this time. On top of that, there is Blom, who did not perform very well and has not been performing well, and that's my dream midfield, Blom and Cele. But on top of that, there's Umart. Obviously, there's Umart, and this is where the debates come in. Why do coaches love Umart so much? Ucele, he's going to give you an out of 10 game tomorrow. Umart is probably going to give you a 6 out of 10 game. Ublom could give you a 3, he could give you a 9. If you play Umatlow, he could give you a 3, he could give you a 9. If you play Umshini, he could give you a 2, he could give you a 9. You see where I'm going with this? With Umart, you know that is going to be average. With these other guys, you really don't know. And I'm not saying that he should be played. Personally, I play Blom. I give him another opportunity, because I think that he's a very capable midfielder. And trying him with someone that is as good as him or even better than him. I mean, Cele is better than Ublom in terms of playmaking, but Ublom is like very close to him. I think that if you try those two together, you could get something. And also, in the spirit of giving other people an opportunity, I think it's a very safe option as well, because Blom is defensively sound, but is also good at helping us with the ball going forward. While on the other side, the coach might likely just go with Mart, because his main thing is, I know what I get from Mart, so I would rather have him and then give Ucele the freedom to go forward, because I do not know what I will get from the others. Panpelo, what about Castillo? Castillo could always come in the second half, because the last thing you want is a player coming back from an injury after being sidelines for like 6 months, and then he comes and he plays and then he gets injured again. So he can always come in the second half and change the game. So there in midfield, we were able to control that midfield last time, and we were playing, if I'm not mistaken, was it Ox? Let me just confirm, because I have to confirm. Right, so when we played them in the last game, the person who was playing in that midfield, it was Umart Nocele. So it was the team that I've counted so far, except Tuguti, Froslang Teng, and Zagangadlali. So it was Umart Nocele, and they were able to do the things that need to be done. Brings us to number 10. The player who was a very good player in that game, who even scored a very good goal, was Augustin Sereno, and he will be back in that game, but I don't think that he will start. I actually think that Umtu Shabalala, given how he played in the previous game, he's still going to start in this game, and Usireno could always come in second half. I know some of you will say, no, Mpilo, it's the other way around. Sereno runs out of gas, so rather bring on Sereno from the beginning of the game, and Umtu Shabalala can always come on in the second half and then change the game. But my thing is, I do not want to wait for Mtu to bring in energy in the second half. I want Mtu to be there, help us press, help us win the ball back in the first half, provide that energy and try to kill the game as early as possible. And Abo Sereno, they can come in later on in the game and just finish it off. I don't want Abo Mtu coming on to solve problems because Mtu mungane. But if you let Usireno be the one who's reading the game and comes in second half, I rather have that, especially since he's not been with the team in the previous 2 games. And that brings us to the left wing, and that is Upule Modi. Upule Modi, he just needs to start scoring goals because everything else he does, he tracks back, he goes forward, he just misses chances. Right wing, Clodi Lilepo. And as I said, with Lilepo, it also depends on who are you playing him with. If you play Lilepo with Solomons, you saw that the combos were communicating. Or if Frosler plays better than what he did in the midweek game, then you are going to get a lot more from that game. So I think that Solomons, Lilepo, very good combination. Lilepo holds the ball, he gets in with the ball, cuts into the inside, and then Solomons is overlapping, the ball can be played to him. To Shabalala with his energy is coming in to collect, and it's just vibes. We're trying to go in at them. Have you not subscribed, guys? Yeah, subscribe. And then that brings us to a very tricky position, which is the striker. Dupree came in the previous game that we played and he scored, and then he missed a huge chance, as Dupree does. He will score and then just continue missing. But what about Ranga? Do we start Ranga or do we not start Ranga? Because we're at a point whereby if Ranga misses another big chance, then we're going to have big problems because people are going to be like, you made us lose the FA Cup, we hate you, blah, 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 nah. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, Dupree is very good at running, is very good in the goal that he scored in the previous game. He did something that strikers do, which is be in the box, finish off chances. So based on that, if the coach is thinking, I want to reward you with game time, then that's good. But remember, when we make changes or when we're even setting up the starting 11, we must say, what if it doesn't work out with Dupree? Do you really want Dupree to start a game where he doesn't score and the other team scores? And now we're under pressure and Dupree is playing horrible and you have to take him off. And now you take him off, you bring on Uranga, who's not been performing well at all in the previous games. Personally, I would say start with Uranga. If it doesn't work out, then you bring on Dupree, because I feel like in the previous game, Uranga had a very good one. It's just that he just couldn't score. And also the first half was very bad. And in the second half, when the game was heating up, made one mistake, one miss, was taken off. So I think that I still start Uranga because he's going to bully the defenders, and also he's hungry. Abo Duba coming back and they're taking that position FLL. So I think that Kaizer Chiefs could win this game by 1-0, or if we spy, we can still win the game by 3-1 if we somehow do concede, because I feel like the guys are motivated, and in all the matches where Chiefs have been motivated this season, they've performed. It's just that against Sundowns, it was an exception where we were beaten 4-0, but the game started well and then everything just went downhill. But every other big game, Chiefs have performed much better, and I think that we can win this game by 3-1. But what are your guys' thoughts? Do let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals al pelumoya.